guys, welcome to the Tarbus. Today I had a series of pretty serious back-to-back Maxidents. We'll just call it Maxident Square. Okay, here's the dealio. I thought I would try a little experiment with the Saturn V. And you know the old saying, never fly the A model of anything. Well, whenever you hear about Max doing an experiment in the Tarbus, you may want to put on a crash helmet. So I thought I would use the, I taped off the first stage where it needed to be taped off, and I thought, you know, I could just wrap paper around the big areas, but let's have a little fun. Let's try something new. We got a little nicks and crannies in this corrugated area. Let's use some of that liquid mask and see how it works over big areas, just sort of, you know, see how it goes. Well, here's some footage I shot while I was doing it, okay?
This can be a surprisingly confusing thing to keep straight, so something I've done is to mark with a little marker each area that's going to be black versus white to help keep them straight. And just getting a straight line around the rocket turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. So I came up with this little contraption, which it worked, but after about 6 attempts to wrap tape around evenly around the first stage, I realized I was not going to be able to do it by eyeball. So this is taping this thing off evenly is, like I say, I'm not much of an artist. I can't even draw a straight line, and today I only reproved that to myself, but we're underway, and we're getting it together now. I thought I'd do something different since Max's Models is partly fun build and partly experimental laboratory. I have decided that instead of wrapping tape and paper around everything, I would try large-scale liquid masks, just to see how it works. So I'm going to give this a long time to harden because I'd use a lot of it, and then I will spray paint the black once I get the rest of the rocket taped off anyway. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and do this one, and then that will give me the opportunity to see how it works. I would also note that a little of this stuff goes a long way because the bottle wasn't quite full when I started, and look at that. That's the little bit that I had to use to cover all that area.
Well, the first stage wasn't a total train wreck, but it was definitely way more trouble than it should have been getting all that stuff out. The thicker parts that had hardened came off pretty well, some tape and everything, but the stuff that had gotten where it had gotten thin, I wound up having to almost scribe out a lot of the stuff. I'm probably gonna have to reprime these areas and everything, and it's just yeah, it was an unholy mess. But as bad as that was, the second stage, which as you can see here, I have already started repriming, and this time I have the 2X paint, the Rust-Oleum 2X, so it's drying a lot faster. It's going to take, I mean, this was after I scraped off all the stuff I could. It got to the point here that the actual semi-gloss acrylic paint was coming off just as easily as the liquid mask did. So no. Go with the old school techniques, tape, paper, all the usual stuff. Just use that liquid mask on canopies or little areas where you need just a little fill in or something. Don't try to use it as a broad spectrum coverage. And although it did come off the big clear areas pretty well, but that's still, well, here's some video of me trying to get it off, and it's, oh God, what a mess. So I won't say I threw the day away. I mean, hey, we learned something, but I'm going to be spending a lot of time cleaning up the detritus from this experiment, trying to make this thing presentable. So that was only, that was actually just an experiment gone bad. That was not the Maxidents. And the two Maxidents happened almost back to back. The first one was I had originally intended to paint it with everything stacked, so I'd make sure I had perfect alignment. And I had everything on the table. I'd been working on it all day with no trouble. I turned to do something. The arm of the chair hit the table, and I didn't hear anything, but I was like, wait a minute, I just hit the table. Do I feel something wobbling? And I looked over, and sure enough, and I'm like, no! but I couldn't get to it in time. And I guess I should be glad it wasn't fueled. Anyway, so not 5 minutes after that. In fact, I'm still trying to look at the damage, and I hear a jar of paint hit the floor. And I had this thing going. I had secured the paint right here, nice flat surface, nothing around it, didn't bump into it, but that pump makes the whole table vibrate. And it had just vibrated off the edge, and of course it was open, and there we go. We brought in, the MTSB, the Maxis Tarbis Safety Board, to investigate, and given their paint splatter experts, they determined it hit with sufficient velocity to, waste over half of a bottle of semi-gloss black paint. So there's $3 plus a permanent scar on the floor. Yay! So note to self, no more paint on the table when the little thing, well, just no more paint up on top of this, period. Also, this turned out to be structurally unstable. The MTSB discovered that it screws had loosened over time and it was wobbling more than it should, although they're not sure how much that was as a contributory factor to the mishap. But I did tighten that up, so now it's more secure than it was. And one step forward, two steps back. Yay! Whereas I had just done this the way we all do it. Just, hey, you know what? Tape it off, spray paint it, and away you go. But no, I had to get creative. But it's not all for loss. I learned stuff. I learned a don't do. And you can bet I'm not going to use that liquid mask for anything more than just the little stuff it was really intended for. And certainly not on any corrugated surfaces or anything. And if I do, I'm going to make sure I put like a second or third coat so it's nice and thick. Because like I said, the thick stuff peels off pretty easy. It's the thin stuff that the paint can intrude under or adhere as well as. So, there we go. So that was today's foibles. I did get a little gray on the on HMS Amazon. Not the I got a little gray on HMS Amazon. Got more of a proper color to it, and I'll let that harden overnight. And it's funny, the thing with itty bitty little parts goes without a flaw. The big thing that should be easy to handle is the one I'm having all the problems with. Such are the foibles of model building, eh? Well, that's pretty much it for tonight. I really didn't get anything else done. I didn't get to the resin kit. We had things to do today, and I still have some stuff I have to go do, so I have to close up the Tarbis for the night. So once again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and maybe we'll have coffee in the morning. If not, we'll see you when you see you. Model on.